All right, we're going to talk about this mid games today and yesterday. So Barcelona finally bounced back from the horrendous performance they had against Las Palmas this weekend. When I say horrendous, I mean this is Las Palmas broke a record. I wasn't even alive. I wasn't even alive the last time they beat Barcelona at home. Okay, and the weekend game really took a turn when Blade went out. That really hurt them. And then you have Mark, who was suspended. The midfield is just not right. For some reason, Lopez has just not been as great as at the beginning of the season. I don't know if it's like lack of confidence or not. And Fernando Torres is back, but he's still, he's the same. You shouldn't expect that much from him at all. Okay, and yeah, we have few chances, we missed few chances, but really this was a game where Las Palmas really took advantage of the chances they had. This is a game where they only had 5 shots and 3 on target, and they scored 2 goals out of that. So, I mean, they were just taking their shots. And on the other side, Barcelona had 27 shots, 8 of them on target. They had 71% of the possession, okay? And they had at least 3 times the pass as Las Palmas had. And they still lost. And really it comes down to lack of concentration. Even second half, they tried to switch it up. They brought Yamar in there and it still didn't work, okay? Frankie's still trying to get his steps together. I think it's crazy how much people be hating on this guy, Frankie. But Frankie's gonna be here for a long time, guys. I don't like the hate he gets. I'm in full support of him being here forever. But nevertheless, he's not performing well enough in the midfield, and Mark was definitely missed. Okay, so they lost this game. Now basically the ball was on Real Madrid's court. Real Madrid has one game in hand, and they just have to win this game this weekend. And they did it. They did the job. And Real Madrid really was cruising against Gaddafi in this game. Okay, we're talking about 13 shots, 4 on target, talking about 70% of the possession. Same thing again. Really, it was the same game that Barcelona had with Las Palmas, but in this game, Madrid scored 2 goals. So they get a penalty for the first goal. Instead of Kylian Mbappe taking the penalty, Bellingham takes it, and Bellingham was confident. He should be taking penalties from now on, in my opinion, and I think he will be. So Bellingham takes the penalty, he scores a goal, and as the game is going on, again, everybody noticed, everybody's talking about it. Mbappe is still finding his foot in the game. He's not really there yet. You have Vinicius still out. Rodrigo just came back, and that's helping a little bit. But it just feels like something is missing. Carvajal is out as well, like I was saying, and it seems like they're still trying to figure out what the back should look like. They got these new guys coming in, trying out. Nothing is sticking yet. That's what I will say. Nevertheless, this game, they were all good. By the first half, they kind of asserted their dominance, and they won the game. So now you're thinking, okay, Madrid just has to win their weekday game, and it looks like they're good. They're going to be at the top of the league. They're looking great. And then we get to the midday week. Barcelona plays on Tuesday, and they play against Mallorca, and they play away. But anyway, so this game was completely different than this weekend's game, and it had to be. There was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of talks. Like, how could you? It was extremely disappointing to see a team like Las Palmas beating Barcelona at home at this stage of the game, where everybody's talking about Barcelona being the team. They were like 9 points ahead. Now slowly they're just cutting points, and Madrid is right there. Madrid is pretty much right there. All Madrid has to do at this point is win their advantage game and the game on Wednesday, and they would have been on top. That was basically it. So we had no more rooms to really mess up. We had to really come back and come back strong. And it seems like we did, and the lineup shows it. Blade was back. Basically, the back four was the original back four. You got Koundé, Kubasi, Martinez, and then Blade. That is Barcelona's starting defense, right? And then in the midfield, you got Mark, Pedri back. Perfect. And then on the wings, you have Lemar and Rafinha. And then our number 10, which is Oma, okay? David Oma, this guy is it. He's a very clutch, and every time he plays, we look more solid. So when I saw him in the lineup, I'm like, okay, this is looking really good. And then at the top, it was Torres. They decided to give Lewandowski a break. I think he needs it. This is a game where Torres really needs to show. You need to step up, okay? And he kind of did. That's what I would say. He kind of did, okay? And he does that by really starting off with the first goal. But most importantly, Blade was there. Blade is so good, all right? You need wingers. In a modern football game, Your wingers have to be great passers, great crossers. Remember Danny Alves? Remember Jordi Alba? These guys were world class back wingers. Okay, and Blade is that. Blade is one of those players, and every cross he gets, it's like pure perfect. And this was one of those games. And Barcelona always needs a player like that, and they had it in this game, and that really what made the biggest difference. Okay, I mean this is a game where we had 20 shots. Okay, 9 on target. Mallorca only had 6 shot and 1 on target. Possession, we still had a very much clear possession on it, but the biggest difference is that everybody was solid. Okay, and we started very early. Every time we start very early scoring goals, we tend to keep scoring. So we score the first goal, and then we get a penalty. Rafinha scores it, and Rafinha gets another goal. And on the second half, we just kind of upped the ante. Okay, we did some subs. The subs were solid. DeJoin himself scored a goal and assisted. So he had a great game. And everybody was focused, sharp from the beginning to the end of the game. And that's really what they need to do going forward from here. No more mistakes. You have to stay focused from the first whistle until the last. So yeah, Madrid just gave us the greatest chance, right? They played against Atletico Bilbao, and they lost. They lost in a great fashion. Well, this is one of those games where you assume they were going to come back, but Atletico Bilbao is a team who always, you never really know. You know, they do very well against top teams, against Barcelona, against Atletico Madrid. So I thought this game was going to be hard for Real Madrid, especially the fact that it was an away game. So I've been hearing a lot of people after this game, and he missed that crucial penalty. People started comparing him to Eden Hazard. That's so disrespectful to Kylian Mbappe, because Kylian Mbappe is scoring goals. Like, he's scoring goals, and he's helping assist goals as well. It's just that his level, what people expected of him, this is a guy who said in the beginning of the season that he was going to score 50 goals. So people are like, you told us you're going to score 50 goals. Where are all these goals? It's just that he's missing chances that is served on a platter for him. You know, one example would be the penalty from 2 weeks ago. And then now he gets another penalty. And again, a crucial time when they really need him to score this penalty, he shoots it like he doesn't even care. You can just feel that there's a nerve to him. There's just something's a little bit off. But there's nowhere near he was as bad as Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard was terrible. Kylian Mbappe didn't show up, unfit, not really serious, basically here to retire. He didn't show up like that. Kylian Mbappe showed up fit, ready to go. I mean, he's still fine. It's just that he just needs to get into the rhythm. It's just still first season. Maybe the expectation that we had for him is not being met, but it's definitely not as low as Eden Hazard. Okay, Kylian already scored more goals than all Eden Hazard has done. Okay, he surpassed him already. He's not getting injured every game. He hasn't been out since he got here. So that itself is better than Eden Hazard already. Okay? So this game, yes, he was not the best. But even so, this game wasn't really his fault that they lost. It's the back line. So after the first goal, like Madrid fashion, they wake up. They really started picking up the pace. And from that point on, really, they had most of the possession in the game. I mean, the possession of the game was about 64%. So they had most of the possession, and they took more shots, and they had more shots on target as well. So the first goal they got was from Rudiger getting hit in the head, kind of the same manner as the one that Lewandowski got. When the goalkeeper hit him. It was a clear penalty, and what Kylian Mbappe step up, and you're assuming like he's going to take this. He was very confident, and the fact that last time he let Bellingham take it, this time he was going to take it. And he looked like he was going to, I thought he was going to make it. For some reason, it doesn't even hit as hard as it usually hits. And they saved it. So I'm just saying, I think it's the confidence here. There's just something off about him when it comes to the confidence why. But that being said, the goal that they scored, he basically assisted it. He took a crazy shot, and then Bellingham got it off the rebound. So it was 1-1, right? So you're assuming this is it, this is a comeback. Madrid's going to do it. It's about 78 minutes. Madrid's going to do a comeback. And immediately, 3 minutes later, Valverde is trying to nutmeg one of the forwards that just came in with enough energy, right? And it doesn't go well for him. And the guy just slots it in. It's 2-0 immediately at the 80 minutes. And by that point, that's when they started doing subs. and you can just see that Madrid was just not gonna come back. They just didn't. That goal basically destroyed any kind of chance they had of coming back. So when I say we have a chance, that's what I mean. Madrid is still getting their foots together. Vinicius is not back yet, and we need to take advantage of it. So we're still 1 point ahead, even if they win the game in hand they have. So we have no room for any more mistakes. Because this is a season where Real Madrid, they're right there. They're right there. Same with Atletico as well. They're both right there. But nevertheless, it was a great performance. What is it? Lamar is back, and he was looking great. Those assists with the passes. I mean, this kid, he still doesn't look fully fit because he still missed a clear goal. He tried to chip the goalkeeper. But nevertheless, give him more time, and I think he's going to go back to his best. He's just not coming back. Again, he's still the leading assist in La Liga. That's a pretty great statement, And yeah, so that was La Liga. And now we're going to go to the Premier League. In the Premier League, the biggest game was Liverpool and Manchester City. And coming to this game, Manchester City really needed to win. I think they needed to win more than Liverpool, in my opinion. But nevertheless, Liverpool still was a better team. There were phases where Manchester City had good possession, but they were doing nothing with it. They couldn't break the defense. Liverpool has the best defense in the Premier League right now. And you would assume a team like Manchester City would be the one team to break them, but they couldn't. They couldn't score a goal, okay? In fact, they only had 2 shots on target. They took 8 shots, only 2 on target. Liverpool had 18 shots, 7 of them on target. Manchester City had most of the possession. It's not even most, really, only 57% of the possession. And there were times where Liverpool kind of just backed out and just waited for City to really mess up, which they did, and they took advantage of it. Mo Salah, again, he is the engine for this team. Day in, day out, week in, week out, Mo Salah is the guy for Liverpool. The fact that they haven't given him another contract, I don't understand it at all. Do they really think they'll be okay without Mo Salah? I personally believe, I'm going to make a statement. I'm going to do it. If Mo Salah leaves, that's it. I'm going to say it. That's it. It's going to be another 2 seasons where they have to get somebody else to really... might change the whole team if Mo Salah leaves. Because I think he has that much impact in this team. That penalty that he scored, it really solidified how much dominance Liverpool is in the league in general. And it really put them in just a little bit of higher tier. And I can't imagine how much that broke Manchester City's heart. It's to the point that Liverpool fans were telling Klopp that hey man, you might lose your job. You might lose your job. And what did he do? He got emotional and he told them, I won 5 times. You didn't win. I won. I won the league. This doesn't matter. And I do believe after this game, Pep had enough. And I think he really was like, we cannot be getting embarrassed like this. And realistically, they can't keep losing. It had to have been some point where they had to win a game. Okay, you know what I mean? They're going on 8 games without winning. Something has to change. We can't have 8 games with no wins. We just got embarrassed by our rivals. This cannot be it. So in this week, Klopp kind of rotated some players. This week game, finally Klopp heard it and he felt that he really needed to change something. I don't know what kind of motivational speak he gave them, but they played against Nottingham Forest and they killed them. They were complete dominance in this game. They had 67 possession of the game. They had 17 shots, 7 on targets. They had 3 goals. The first goal came immediately, 8 minutes in the game. And I think right when that first goal they scored, they knew, it was like a sigh of relief. And the most important thing about this game, that De Bruyne start this game. De Bruyne hasn't started in a while, okay? So he finally went back to his 4 back, okay? And they look all healthy, they look clean, and they were good. And then in the midfield, he put Gundogan and Grealish. And he put Doku and Silva in the wings. You got Haaland up top, and then you got De Bruyne right behind Haaland. And that's all they really needed. And De Bruyne was basically the man of the match, in my opinion. He was everywhere. He could have had 2-3 goals in this game. Okay? Same with his assists as well. Doku is a player who... It's like him and Sevilla, who's going to really turn up? That's what we were all waiting for. They're both a great dribblers, but there's no end product. This game, Doku showed there is an end product. And that goal that he scored was fabulous. It was confident. you know, and he really, really needed it. So they scored 3 goals without even Haaland scoring anything. That's a positive return right there. Is this it? Is this where they finally turn their bad luck and kill it? Remember, every season they have a downfall, except this season has been like any other season before. And they're competing against, and they're chasing a team like Liverpool who doesn't seem like they're slowing down. They're getting better, they're not getting worse. You know what I'm saying? But the calendar is long, and there's still time. We're not in the second phase of the season yet, so there's still a lot of chance for them to really turn around. It just depends on how hungry they are. Do they want this again? Because the past few months, it seems like they really didn't care for it. But I think the fact that everybody's been talking mad smack on them, I mean, to the point that Pep has to tell people that he won the 5 times. I mean, he used to say he doesn't care. We should let other teams win. But now I think he wants it again. And this happens all the time. But I think this season is just a little bit different. So I think excitement is coming back in Manchester City. So do I still think they can beat Liverpool to the league? I don't know. Liverpool is not slowing down. Nevertheless, Liverpool also played today, and they had a great game against Newcastle. Newcastle is apparently the one to break that back line. Isak has been great. I've never seen a player that much confidence who was toying with Liverpool's defense. He knew how to break it. Okay? I mean, that goal was a screamer. Okay? Nevertheless, Mo Salah was still there, was still killing it as well. But I have to say, Isak was the man of this game. So, Liverpool tied today. Is this going to have much effect? I don't know. I don't think so. They're still pretty far ahead. And the other game today was Arsenal versus Manchester United. People are getting hyped for this new manager. But first of all, this game was pretty dull, okay? Both the goals were set pieces from corner, so there wasn't really that much going on. I mean, yes, Arsenal had 14 shots. 6 of them were on target. On the other side, Manchester United had 5 shots, only 2 on target. And the possession was about the same. I mean, to me, the first half was dull. Second half was getting a little better. But nevertheless, other than those 2 set pieces, I really didn't see much. Both sides were playing very cautious, in my opinion. I think Liverpool and Newcastle game was a lot better. I mean, we had 6 goals in this game. And Newcastle is basically, they were playing like they were a contender for the champion. You know what I'm saying? They were not just laying down. Even when Liverpool was ahead, you can feel that Newcastle was going to keep scoring goals. And I do believe if this game went on for like another 30 minutes, Newcastle would probably score more goals. So, I mean, they should be very happy. The tie, taking a point from them, still pretty good. And the team who's slowly just sneaking in there is Chelsea. We're still in the first half of the season, so let's just still cool it down. But nevertheless, they're in second place right now, and they're having a great time. But I just haven't watched that game. Anyway, that's all I got. Bye.